Welcome to our photosynthesis video. Here we show light entering the cell and going through the chloroplast. Now here we have one molecule of water coming into the chloroplast as well. The light will go through the chloroplast and into one of the thylakoids. The same will happen for one of the water molecules.
A photon hits the chlorophyll in the photosystem 2 that excites it, and it hits all the other chlorophylls until it gets to the primary acceptor. A water enters and the photosystem 2 breaks it and steals 2 of its electrons. The electrons travel through the cytochrome complex, and the cytochrome complex brings in 2 hydrogen ions from the outer membrane. This process is continuous. The electrons then go to cyclic electron flow, where the electrons go to photosystem 1. Another photon hits the chlorophyll, which excites it, and it hits all the other chlorophyll until it gets to the primary acceptor. The electrons travel up photosystem 1 through the cytochrome complex, and the cytochrome complex brings more hydrogen ions in order to make a hydrogen proton gradient. Four hydrogen ions travel through ATP synthase, which gives energy to it, which allows an ADP to connect to a PI phosphate to make ATP. Instead of going through cyclic electron flow, these electrons will go through the linear electron flow path. The electrons travel up photosystem 1 till it gets to the NADP reductase. The electrons connect to an NADP and a hydrogen, and another hydrogen follows it to create NADPH. For one glucose molecule to be made, this entire process must continue until 18 ATPs are made and 12 NADPHs are made.
Now we can begin the Calvin cycle. CO2 comes into the cell and binds to ribisco. Ribisco can pick up multiple CO2s. The carbon in CO2 is used to create a short-lived intermediate. The O2 goes off as oxygen. The short-lived intermediate soon breaks apart, and then the ATP is needed to convert the product into the 3-phosphoglycerate. The 3-phosphate glycerate needs an NADPH to convert it to a G3P. After NADPH is used, it reverts back into NADP and a hydrogen. After the 6 G3Ps are produced, one comes out and the rest of them are converted back into RUBP using 3 ATP. The ATPs that were used were converted back into ADP and phosphates. These are recycled into the thylakoid to be used for later. The same goes for the NADP and the hydrogens. The Calvin cycle must occur again until there are 2 G3Ps produced. Then we can create a glucose molecule. The 2 G3Ps are converted into fructose 1,6-biphosphate. Then the fructose 1,6-biphosphate is converted into a fructose 6-phosphate and an ATP is created. Then the glucose 6-phosphate is formed with the help of an enzyme. Then another ATP is created and glucose is made.